Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Robot Tech. My name is Scotterstone5, and today we're still with Smokinace.
That's me.
That's him. And we every month we talk about podcasts. Yes, it's
Podcasts. That's a new idea. I like it.
we talk about podcasts every month. No, we talk about games and games accessories. I'll tell you what. So yeah. We usually talk about, games we played last month, games, in general, like things that we like about games or things that have been released last month, what have you. So yeah, what games have you played last month of July?
I actually have been playing a lot of the Metal Gear Solid series because that's for a future project. So I've been kind of replaying a lot of those. Played some Ghost of Tsushima, if I'm saying that correctly, which, from what I understand, we'll be speaking a little bit about.
Sure.
And, just little sprinkles of other things in there. Still a little bit of Animal Crossing, some Mario Maker. Just, not as heavily, but just something to pass the time,
Right.
have a little bit of fun. How about yourself, sir?
Honestly, I have no idea what I played last month because all I remember playing is Witcher 3, Pillars of Eternity, Divinity Original Sin, Kingdom Come, and...
Those are all long games. When did you play those?
I don't know, maybe on a 24-hour stream or something. Yeah. So, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I played a lot of role-playing games with for Lee Kiwi because
Nice.
he or she has been watching my stream and they were wondering about puzzle games, and I was like, oh, I could show you some, and that's kind of what I've mostly been trying to show them. And then also playing those 5 games for 24 hours. We'll talk about that later too. So a lot of things to talk about. We'll get going. I mean, I'll be honest. This will probably be like a 2-hour podcast. I'll be honest with you. No, hopefully we'll cut it short or.
Oh, I can make it 2 hours.
No, I mean. So yeah. Let's talk real quick about your 24 hours because that happened last month. I know that was a while ago. It seems like forever since last time. So
it does seem like a while.
So what do you think of Final Fantasy VI? Does it bolt in comparison to the other ones?
It was 4.
4, sorry.
4. See, everybody, real quick side note, this is why we need to get Scouter to play more Final Fantasy games.
All of them seem... Yeah.
No, that's fair. It is kind of the same style and stuff like that. This one was a little updated, but no, I loved it. I didn't get to experience much of the story itself since it is a longer old school JRPG, so I was skipping a lot of the cutscenes and everything. But from what I gathered and from what I've kind of read about and what I've heard before, I loved it. You get to go to space. Any game that you get to go to space is already 3 tiers above. That automatically puts it at a certain rating level. But no, I really enjoyed it. I liked it because it had a big mix of characters, and I'm so used to being able to, in a lot of turn-based RPGs now and in the last, say 10, even 20-ish years, that you can choose your characters that you want to play as willy-nilly. You can make your party kind of whoever you want it to be. In this one, it's a little more kind of streamlined, where different things happen in the story, you get those characters. So, knowing that going into it, it was okay. Had I not known that ahead of time, I would have been, I kind of wish that I'd be able to change up my characters and everything. But there are other things you can do to kind of customize it. So I would definitely... It's a very fun game. I haven't fully finished it yet. I've tried to finish it a couple times while streaming. I'm right near the end. I just need to level up a little bit more. And because I was trying to go for speed during the 24 hours. I didn't get high enough level, which anyone who's ever played an older RPG, and even some newer RPGs, knows that you have to level grind. There's no getting around it. Sometimes you can kind of maybe play the system or work the tricks and stuff like that and get ahead. But near the end of my 24 hours, when I was getting one shot by every just random encounter, you can't. There's no trick to that. There's no, okay, if I do this and this, I'll be able to survive. It's just nope. It's it'd be like going into a first-person shooter and somebody else has a gun that automatically headshots you. There's nothing you can do about that. So, but no, it's definitely great. I would like to play through it again at some point and actually experience the full story, because it was really fun. I'm definitely not upset that I played it. I wasn't getting tired of the game at the end of the 24. Yeah, it was fun. I had a blast, as I do with just streaming for Extra Life in general, but I had a lot of fun because now I finally hit my top 3 game series in a 24 hours, so life goal complete. But yeah, it's definitely a game that I want to play more of. I do still need to beat it. Like I said, I am on the final boss. There are other optional bosses that I could do, but maybe on another playthrough years from now I'll be able to do that. But there's still a lot of content there. So, but yeah, overall, a successful 24-hour stream. I had a lot of support, a lot of really awesome people showing up, donating. Had a lot of fun. So I can't wait for my next one.
When is that?
Haven't decided on a date yet. I know. I'm pretty sure I've decided on what I'm going to do, and it relates back to Metal Gear Solid, like I was talking about. But yeah, I haven't picked a date for that yet. But it'll be coming for sure.
I'll be there.
Sure. Sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you liked it, or that you're probably like hour 17 or like hour 6, and they're like, this game is crap or something. I mean, it's Final Fantasy for you. Like, obviously, it'll still be good, but at least it's something that you could be like, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. So that's good. It's not like you're suffering for the rest of the 20 hours or whatever.
Yeah, I had a few contingency plans just in case it got to the point where I was like, all right, you know what, I'm kind of tired of this. But like I said, I never got tired of it. I was still having fun. I got frustrated at some points, but that was only because I wasn't, I wasn't high enough leveled like I was talking about. But yeah, no, I had an absolute blast, as I do, with any stream like that. But back on to the main topic at hand here. Scouter, with your first ever 24 standard human hour stream.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, it was good. I thought I wouldn't make it. I like the whole, I was just not sleeping the day before, and I took a nap and stuff like that, but I was like, yeah, pretty much everyone else was saying, hour 18 is where it's really, okay, if you can't make it now, end it, basically, But I was like, we're this far, screw it, let's keep going. I felt a little bad taking too many breaks, but, I kind of didn't care. No, it's a lot of games I got frustrated with. I think Divinity Original Sin, I think Skyrim, frustrated me the most, believe it or not. Yeah, I would say Witcher 3 and Kingdom Come, out of those 5 games, were probably the best ones. Yeah, Divinity Original Sin, Kingdom Come, Pillars of Eternity, and Skyrim, I didn't enjoy at all. Skyrim is broken. I honestly don't know how that's a game. I think Techie5 made a good point of, remember, Skyrim is the same makers of Fallout, and I was like, it's Bethesda, so, I could see why. I really don't understand the concept of people enjoying Skyrim. I enjoyed it, I will say that, but I think just the game is broken. Just, I literally had to tab out because it's I couldn't advance the game, or obviously saving was a nightmare. If you saved at a certain point, you're screwed, and you're supposed to like I was supposed to like give somebody my equipment, and I missed that memo because I was like reading chat or whatever, and I half of paying attention at that point, but you once you saved after, you're supposed to give that person your stuff, and you're like, well, I'm stuck unless I go really far back and do it again. So it was kind of and then Techie 5 also helped me, like, you could fast travel. I was like, so now you tell me, because obviously, like, the first hour I was just, like, walking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say Witcher 3 was pretty good, and Kingdom Come Deliverance was pretty good. I got a little frustrated with Kingdom Come Deliverance on the combat. Obviously, you probably heard that, of the combat being a nightmare, but...
I've only played a little bit of that game. I've played a few hours, but yeah, it's challenging.
Well, sure. I was doing, like, the tutorial, and I was like, I can't do this, like... And he's like, again, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Isn't this good enough? Like, I already been doing some battles, like, come on, lay off my back here. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'd say, out of those 5, just pillars and stuff, or just, there's really very difficult. At least pillars was more direct, whereas Divinity was good luck. Like, figure it out. Like, I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you had not played any of these games beforehand, right?
I mean,
like for the most part,
yeah.
You checked them out, you knew little bits, but it was you were stepping into these games, not really having, you didn't have 10 hours in each game and everything. Right. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like I played the game enough. I feel like that was good because, like I said, I think we talked about it last time. If not, I averaged roughly. I did like a timer saying like roughly 4.5 hours per game.
Yeah.
Then obviously breaks, is actually like 4.7 to be the math. But, breaks and food or whatever. So I figured. And then I think some of the games I was like, I'm done. Let's move on to the next one. Because I just, like I said, I couldn't figure out, like, I got to the point where I kept getting stuck at pillars. Pillars of Eternity. I was just like, we'll end this early, excuse me, and then move on, and then, Witcher, again, I'd say Witcher 3, for sure, is pretty good. At least it was like, here's where to go. It's like, for me being dumb, it kind of, like, I like, and that's what I don't like about...
Side note, you're not dumb.
No, I just, no, I know, but I feel like I want just to be like, here's where to go, and, like, I'm okay with, or like, here's the area, try to find it. Like, I want it more direct, linear, because, like, go to, this place. Well, where's that? I don't, like, okay, look on the map, and then they show, like, an outer city. It's like, okay, well, where is it in the, like, is it in the city? I don't know. Like, like, go to the tavern, okay, and then you scroll up, and, here's the town names. I was like, well, where's the tavern in there? Like, thanks, game. Like, I don't know. Or maybe I could play those games, like, watch people again to maybe play it, see where I'm going, and I'd say I would give Witcher 3 a go. Go back and play more, and Skyrim probably never again. It's just broken. I really don't understand why people enjoyed it.
And that's one of the nice things about video games is, a game that I thoroughly enjoy with a passion. There's thousands of other people that have either never played it, or don't like it, or also love it. And that's the thing is, nobody has to love every video game they play.
Mm-hmm. And also remember,
Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid,
right? I was gonna say, I would say, I feel like also like I'm not into role playing either. So like, I think that that doesn't really help my concept. I mean, I'd say, like I said, at least The Witcher 3 was like, here's where to go. Like, there you go. And then, side quests, you could click on the quests you want, and then they'll direct you. So it's like, great,
Yeah.
And then you could read it, so it's not like, and then, well, you could do that in like, I feel like Divinity Original Sin, it was that, it was like, go find this, and I was like, or this Smokinace told you this, and it's like, yeah, but where's that? Like,
Yeah.
And then I try to enter, like, the combat area, and it was just hard as nails, and then they're warning me, like, don't go in there unless you're, like, you have the team set up, but you don't have the skills. I was like, well, how do I get that? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I think I'll go back, maybe look at, maybe some videos of seeing where to go. I hate to do that, but I mean, I cheated a little bit by, like, you gotta go talk to this guy. And I was like, well, where's that guy? I don't know where he is. And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to scroll up on the map. Duh. Like, I don't know. Man. It was good. It was, like I said, like everyone else is saying, hour 18-ish is where you're like, alright, I'm done here. I'm going to bed. Like, but it was good. Yeah, I just feel like next time I just need to sleep a lot more than the day before. So
is that, we hear there's a next time?
I mean, if I reach the $1,000 goal of, it'll be Dark Souls 3 for 24 hours.
Let's get that gold medal first out right here. That needs to happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm just more excited for cooking in real life first, because that's the milestone.
Fair enough.
This is, by the way, we're all talking about Extra Life. Smokinace and I raise money for Extra Life. We raise money for sick and injured kids. So
I'm pointing at your little picture.
Yeah,
there.
Mage Minica made me this. It's awesome. Raise charity. We raise money for charity. So I'd say donate to both of ours.
Absolutely, and join. Help a hospital,
either way,
one that you love too.
Either one would work.
And still donate to both of us.
Yeah, do that first, and then join. So I wanted to also talk about real quick Ghost of Tsushima, as we mentioned earlier. I feel like, in my opinion, I don't know if I'm just not into announcements of games, or I just like missed the memo on that one, but I feel like it came out of nowhere. I don't know if, again, I don't know if I just missed the memo or I just forgot about it, but I don't know. Smokinace, like, what do you think of, you played the game, as you mentioned, what do you think about it? Like, is it all the hype behind it too much, or is it perfect, or like, what do you think?
I think it absolutely did what it set out to do. Mm-hmm. I haven't played a ton of it. Like, I would say probably less than 8 hours into it, but it's a very fun game. Yeah. I know a lot of people, when it was, right around when it came out, and even before it came out, everyone went, "Oh, we already got Sekiro Shadows Die Twice." It's the same thing. They're completely different. Mm-hmm. This one is a little more action forward, a little more cinematic. Sekiro, I haven't beaten that one yet either. That one's an older game. Let's not talk about it. But that one is more of a, I almost want to say a strategy game in a way, because it's very, it's been likened to a Soulsborne game, where it's that higher difficulty, but once you understand the mechanics, it's definitely playable, it's doable, and it's a really fun game. Whereas, but getting back to Ghost of Tsushima, that one, you can stealth into an area if you want, and try to, take out all the enemies, which you can do in Sekiro. And I'm not trying to make this a whole debate between the two, but just as a comparison for anybody who's looking to get it, who maybe played Sekiro or heard of Sekiro beforehand or watched it or anything. But Ghost is a really fun game. Like I said, it's very cinematic. If you like older style kind of like samurai movies and things like that. They've put a lot of focus on, I mean, there's a Kurosawa mode. For anybody who doesn't know, Akira Kurosawa was a very, very prevalent, samurai and kind of that style movie maker back in the day. I honestly don't remember when his kind of heyday was, but they put that mode in there because their game was very cinematic. And yeah, Ghost, it's really fun. I like a lot of kind of stealth games, and this one you can sort of play in that way, so that adds another element of fun to it. Anybody who's interested in looking at it and checking it out, I highly recommend do it. Like I said, I would say it's a little more accessible than Sekiro, so if you looked at Sekiro or you've seen gameplay and you go, ooh, that looks a little too tough for me or something like that, I don't want to say Ghost is easy, but I think it is a little more accessible, like I said, because it's not as punishing. And they do have higher difficulties. I obviously haven't played it on those difficulties yet. But yeah, it's a really fun game. It's really fun to watch too. I've watched a few other streamers and YouTubers play some of it. Try not to watch too much since I don't want spoilers and all of that. But it is, like I said, it does have that cinematic quality where it's really fun to watch what other people do, how they approach the different situations, and move forward in that, through the game in their own way.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. I mean, from just a watching that standpoint, and don't get mad at me, all right? Just hear me out, all right? Kind of reminded me of RISE Son of Rome.
Okay.
It was really a crappy game. It was like one of the crappiest games that, I mean, I almost literally bought an Xbox One because of this game, but then I waited and smart, and then I saw the reviews and people were just mad about it. But I think that's why I think I want to play it, because it's like I liked seeing RSC Son of Rome, and then obviously seeing, okay, this is actually the gameplay of just press A to tell your army to go forward. Is like, I mean, obviously the Ghost of Tsushima is not like that. I mean, there's a little bit of war stuff into that, but
absolutely.
So I guess that was kind of cool that they made a game like that, because I kind of want something like that, and there isn't, in my opinion, besides like the original Rome strategy games that I loved playing. I mean, to just be like a commander in an army, of be like, and you're that guy, and you're commanding this area, and then obviously, like you said, the stealthiness of like Hitman 2 or Hitman, where you could just stealth, and I haven't played the Hitman series either. I really want to. I will buy them eventually. It's on my list. I heard Hitman 2 is really good.
That game is so... Me and my friends way back when played the demo of that game to death. Even the demo level had so much to do. I haven't watched anybody play Hitman in a while. That would be a really fun game to watch. Because that's another one of those where you have so many different ways you can approach things.
Yeah.
Like each target might have 5 different ways that you can try to assassinate them. Whether you just run in guns blazing, or there's one, and it's going to get a little graphic, but you could take hide and take a meat hook, and you would put it in a chicken.
Right.
And then one of the servers would bring that to your target, and he'd eat it and die. Like,
right.
I would never think of that.
Right.
In a game or something like that, because obviously it's outlandish. Nobody's gonna be able to eat a whole chicken
without noticing it or something.
Yeah, he's a large target you're going after. But yeah, he eats that and dies. And it's just creative things like that. But yeah, that would be a really fun. And I'm gonna get off topic here for a second.
That's fine.
Really off topic.
That
would be a really good one though, to have extra life incentives in, where it'd be like, okay, somebody donates this amount, you immediately have to, use this weapon, or you've got to get this disguise, or, just
use
have
a fish
things where,
for an hour or something for a weapon.
Yeah. Something like, somebody donates $10, you immediately have to fire your gun in the air.
Right. That'd be
because
fun.
then, even if you're trying to be stealthy, that's going to change everything up, alert the guards and all that. Ooh, that's a good one. We'll talk about that one later.
Good. Well, I was thinking already,
that.
Besides the 24 hours that are ready for my final milestone of Dark Souls 3 for 24 hours, I was thinking next year play 24 hours of the Fallout series. Because I only played, I'd say I played halfway between one, and I played a little New Vegas, and that's it.
Ooh,
so
New Vegas is so good.
It was pretty fun. I mean, like I said, I'd say that was I know it's one of the best ones in terms of Fallout series. I enjoyed Fallout 1. I like the time-based stuff going on. It's great. I love that, actually, believe it or not. And that's what I thought. Again, when I was playing Divinity Original Sin, I was like, I'm going to like that because that was time-based, but of course it's hard as nails. So, anyways, you have a question today. It's going to be your kind of topic today. So, we actually are prepared for once.
Surprisingly. Wait, you're supposed to prepare?
Right.
Oh, shoot.
Right.
No, I actually have a Word document and everything.
Yeah, I just wrote it on my text messages.
Notes. I have Scouter. This is the first time I've had notes.
Wow. See, this is the first time for everything on this podcast. So, would you like to ask away first, or whatever? It's your thing.
So this idea, I did take it from another YouTuber by the name of Beat 'em Ups. I highly recommend checking out his videos. He always has some really funny ways to approach things, and he does some kind of fun questions and things like that. But there was one video that he had where it was top 10 games that you could always go back to. I don't remember if that's exactly how he worded it, but basically what the concept was, not necessarily your top tier list of all your favorite games. Obviously some of those are going to make it, but what games, kind of the way that he presented it is, if he had to sell his Switch, what games would he keep? Or if he had to downsize, if he had to get rid of everything but 10 games, what would he hold on to? And I don't know how you approach this question, Scouter, but I didn't do it to one specific console or genre or anything. I just kind of did a hodgepodge. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I kind of took his idea and molded it down to, if I had to cut everything out of my life gaming, except for 10 things, what would they be? And kind of a little quick-ish breakdown of why. So I figured we'd kind of maybe go back and forth. I don't know if you did yours in any sort of order. I kind of put a rough order to mine, but it's kind of all out of order.
So let me predict yours. Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4. Till 10, right?
Yeah, all right, this podcast.
All right, well, we're done here. All right.
Maybe. We'll just see.
All right.
But,
you go first.
I was thinking is we just do, number 10, number 10, number 9, number 9.
Yeah,
just go back.
they're in, I did not put them in order either. I just kind of wrote them down.
For me, I there's maybe a little bit of an order, but it's just kind of 10. Because, again, we're not necessarily making these are our top favorite games of all time. It's just what could you sit down and just play at any point.
Yeah.
So for my, let's
number
just
10.
say number 10. Number 10. Big old graphics and everything.
We'll add that in the edit.
Would be MLB The Show, and I just picked 20, the newest one.
MLB The Show?
Yeah.
Never saw you as a sports video gamer.
Oh,
I mean, I know, but...
No.
I meant, I feel like sports is like the bottom of your list of games to play.
See, what's funny is I actually like more sports games than I do like sports. Like, I love baseball, I love football, and I love both of those video games. Not a big fan of hockey, but I like the video game. I really don't like soccer, but I enjoy playing FIFA a lot. I know. I'm not a big basketball fan, but I used to play basketball games. We had one on our PlayStation 1 that I played all the time. It was just fun. It was just a fun game. But my favorite sport is probably baseball. Football's a close second, but it's got to be baseball. I grew up playing baseball. My mom's a big baseball fan. She's also a football fan, but she got me into it. Her dad was a big baseball fan. So yeah, for kind of my number 10, MLB The Show, because I enjoy baseball. It has endless playability. You could play as any one of the teams. There's only one team that I play
I
as.
wouldn't know any team that you wouldn't play, right?
But like I said, it's endless possibilities. You could play that game for all eternity, and it's not going to change. Yeah, they update it with new players and stuff, and they add new features, but that game you can play anytime. Plus, you can play with other people. And this year, we almost didn't have baseball.
Yeah.
And other sports may be in jeopardy, so I could still go and play this, or even set up 2 computers, and I could watch a computer simulation of baseball if I wanted to. So yeah, MLB The Show on my list, because like I said, I really enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it, and if I only got 10 games and some people want to come over, hey, I'll play in MLB.
Yeah. Well, so that's nice. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good start. What was I going to say? So, believe it or not, Stanley Parable and Bioshock Infinite is not on this list. Can you believe that?
Who am I talking to?
Right. So
Scouter. So, hang on. I need to message Scouter.
Is this you?
I'm intrigued. I like it.
All right. So I also me and Smokinace, we want to say this too. We're basing it off the original game. We made this a little bit more difficult for ourselves because obviously DLC and stuff. So we try to, at least I hoped I did it too, but no promises.
I'm pretty sure I did as well.
So like no DLC, just the base game. I put the first thing on the list, and I'm surprised. This one you should be not shocked of. Planet Coaster.
Okay.
Because 2 hours in that game will get you nowhere. You will maybe build a roller coaster and accessories, and you're still not done with that roller coaster and accessories. I think I've mentioned it earlier in the couple months that I was like, I need to get out of playing Planet Coaster right now because I'm just diving. Well, that was Roller Coaster Tycoon, and that's not on this list either.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But believe it or not, it is a tough one. I will say at the end why I picked these, by the way. So, Planet Coaster, 2 hours, you get nowhere. I feel like, and I'm kind of hinting
really selling it.
Kind of hinting at why I'm picking these games, but basically, a lot of stuff with the base game. Just the base game. Yes, I have the DLC and I love it. But you could just go off with just the base game, and obviously I assume updates are still going to happen with these top 10, so they're always adding more roller coasters and what have you. So yeah, Planet Coaster. Number 9.
Number 9. So actually, what I put as my number 9 is Fallout 4. And I had a tough kind of issue when I was going into thinking about this one, because New Vegas is probably my favorite Fallout game. But like I said, and like we mentioned in the beginning, is that watch out.
No, that's Fallout 1 through.
Yeah, sure. I wanted to get that, but I already owned like all of them, and I could not justify I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I would see why you wouldn't,
And
because
I need it.
I mean, for me it made sense, but like,
Yeah.
I had 1 and 3 at the time, so like half of that was kind of worth it. But if you already have them, that wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, unfortunately that didn't add enough.
Right.
You know, to like, yeah, I'd love to have the replica and everything, but yeah,
it's hard to make you jealous.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
But
Anyways.
the reason I picked Fallout 4 is kind of going along with the sort of endless playability of MLB is there's so much to do in that game. I was having kind of a hard time finding exact numbers, but there's from the best I could find, there's 144 quests that you can do total in that game.
Really?
Now you can't do all of them
right
in one playthrough, because some of them get blocked off because you did this one or that one, but that even adds to it more because you can go back through it again.
Right.
They added a whole base building mode in the game, so if you want to, build up a base, build defenses, make a whole settlement, and then defend that settlement, you could do that. So you could kind of do that endlessly.
Right.
And then on top of that, there's 70 skills in that game.
That's crazy.
And, again, so you can build whatever character you want. If you want to go heavy, handguns, you can do that. If you want to go heavy melee, you can do that. If you want to do kind of a mix, you can do that. If you want to go technology, if you want to go, all this kind of stuff. So there's almost endless combinations of things that you can do in that game. And then, of course, I know we just went base game, but that one, it does have other DLC. So even if you somehow get bored of the, massive world and everything, you can, go back in and revisit that game with DLC. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about the DLC just because we went base game. But yeah, that's my sort of number 9.
Nice. Yeah.
Number 9 for
I
you,
haven't played Fallout 4 either. I don't know why these
played video games.
I don't know why any of this is a shock to anyone, but okay.
I know
it's like me.
I just
it's
like
like
giving you a hard time.
It's like me in movies too. I'm like behind in like 10 years on movies, video games, and so. Anyways, number 9, RimWorld.
Ooh, all right.
I mean,
kind of along that same line.
Well,
in a different way.
Mostly because I don't think I'll ever beat that game. Secondly, yes, there's obviously difficulties that, I'm on like, somewhat easy-ish, medium-ish, easy, medium difficulty. Even then, that's hard.
Wow, I was gonna say, from what I've seen you play, it looks like a very challenging game.
It is,
and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, luckily, for you to play RimWorld, I would suggest, putting it on easy. Even then, you're like, what is going on? I'm being attacked by squirrels? What is this? So I think that's why I love it so much. There's so much, and that's why, one of my donation incentives is I could put you in the game RimWorld, and literally every time I do, it's a different outcome of, we're being attacked by squirrels, we're being attacked by radiated squirrels, and, Smokinace has to kill them, Usually I pick the person, to kill them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the video will get boring, so. And it makes it more exciting, and with the, story of, I've been kind of including animals randomly because I thought it was fun. Like, my friend's stand partner, she has a pet cat. Oriole is her name, and I was like, we gotta have a cat. and then obviously, like, when it started, it was what a hoot owl, and unfortunately, there's no owls in RimWorld, so I was like, I was like geese. I was like, that's the next best thing. So,
it's a bird.
And it's just really funny to watch. It just really, like, you get really creative and like make a story of yourself. Like, oh my god, the geese died, and we gotta like put a gigantic statue, like, stuff like that. So I think that's why it's on there. It's that I'm never gonna beat it, and even if I do, there's also harder modes and stuff like that. Number 8.
Make sure to go check out those videos on Scattershot.
No, I'm so behind. I'm like, I need to make like 3 I got curry to do, and I got... It's just, the editing takes a long time.
Oh, I'm sure. I can't even imagine.
Because I do the voiceover like, oh, Smokinace is gonna... Or Curry is gonna go over here, and...
Yeah.
Sometimes I've been doing less commentary, because, like, I kind of want people to watch, and then kind of change it up a little bit of... I don't want to, like, say the obvious, and it does happen, or I wait till the end, like... Like, oh, it was a successful shot or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot of editing, but it's fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. But moving on to number 8.
Yes.
This one was a little bit harder because I went into a genre that I used to play a lot, and I don't play as much anymore, but I still thoroughly enjoy it, and I wish I would put more time into it. But out of this genre, there's actually 2 games on my list, but this one is the first one that I will mention. But Civilization 6.
Another thing that I wouldn't expect you to play.
I'm just full of surprises.
All right, man.
But yeah, like I said, I used to play a lot more real-time strategy and just kind of strategy games in general. But I had sort of moved away from that just because I sort of got out of the loop with games coming out. Like, side note, I'm super excited for Age of Empires 4 to come out.
Yes.
One of the Age of Empires almost made it on this list, but it didn't. But I can't wait to see more of that because I love playing 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
All those games. But,
can you tell I want to play it too?
No, what? I didn't get that.
No.
But no, Civilization 6, kind of, if you're seeing a theme here in replayability and everything, the base game has 31 different civilizations. So you could play one game from all of these, and that's 31 games right in there. Again, a multiplayer kind of game, so you can go in and you can play with other people, or I think you can even do local multiplayer, can't you? Like, I could take my turn and then somebody could swap out.
Yeah.
So that's something else, even,
go
ahead.
I've seen, not trying to advertise channels here, but Yogscast, they play multiplayer Civ 6 all the time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I know it's broken when they play multiplayer, like, man, just get this fit. Like, literally, they complain about it every time, and it's an old game. I enjoyed, I'd say one of my earliest computer purchases was Rome Total War. I still have the CDs somewhere in here. Believe it or not, I mean, you probably should. That shouldn't be a surprise. Here we go.
I believe it.
Yeah. Anyways, like, there you go. Here's the book. Here's the book of it. I had to buy it on Steam, but because I don't know if that works anymore. But regardless, I love the strategy. Like, when Rome Total War came out, I was like, I'm blown away. This is so good. And then Civ 6. It's not really a similar concept, but you don't control the battlefield. And obviously the other Sega series of I can't think of it, where it's like Napoleon and stuff. Like, those are good too.
That's kind of still along the Total
War. Yeah, that's it. Total War. Now they have Warhammer and stuff. I don't know if I looked into those, but I don't know if I'm not a Warhammer fan, so...
Yeah, but Civ 6, there's my number.
Sorry.
There's just, again, so much... No, you're good. This is why we have the podcast, for that conversation. I love it.
I would say, like, Age of Empires and then, like, Empire Earth. I prefer Empire Earth over Age of Empires, in my opinion.
I remember you playing that. I still haven't played it, but I do remember you doing...
I think I like it because it goes beyond, like, the future tech of, like, atomic bombs and robots. And it's like, this is cool. Like,
you mean
I want to
there's robots that attack?
Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's probably why I like it now. No, just like the future tech versus ending at, like, whatever this final stage is, medieval or whatever. Even probably beyond that. But it goes beyond World War One, World War Two, and atomic age and future age.
But yeah, there's my number 8.
Prison Architect.
Okay. Yep.
Again, similar to RimWorld, where you could. I feel like you could do so much in that game, and just like I literally applaud it every time I played it, because they just it's one of the games I mentioned too, is that I bought it before it was released, and it's like this is a game that you need to. I could just do whatever, and even if I'm happy with a prison, I could do it again and do it again in a different way. And obviously, change. You could change, like when a prisoner dies, they set fire, or something, and having that difficulty as well. I mean, that's with the base game, by the way.
Yeah.
So, I would say Prison Architect, because I just go back to it all the time. I mean, I don't go back to it as much as I used to, but I feel like every maybe a month or two, I'd be like, let's launch Prison Architect, and they already updated it so much that it's just worth your money. And again, you could change it out, chip and change. You made this room a shower. You know what? Those are now prisons, and you gotta relocate. That's what the chip and changing of rooms, prison cells, or whatever. Like the one I'm playing on stream. I'm streaming, they have lakes, and it makes you a nightmare, because it's of course I can't continue this prison because this lake is in the way. I can't make it the same size as the other one. So
interesting.
Yeah, I would say the DLCs are not that great anyway. So at least that's what I've heard. the new one isn't that good, but the psych ward I heard is somewhat good. But anyway, your turn. Number 7.
Again, this one I had a lot of debate in my head about which one I was going to pick from this series, but Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh, we almost had a matching one.
Grand Theft Auto 3 was my first Grand Theft Auto game. I enjoyed Chinatown Wars on my PSP because it was just a mobile version that I could take anywhere. Vice City is probably my favorite world, because I love kind of that sort of Scarface, Goodfellas, 80s kind of vibe, and I really enjoy it. I like the story of that one. 4 was a really good-looking game. The graphics are just pretty amazing for the time, and the story was kind of fun. 5 obviously has just endless things to do, and I mean, if we're talking base game, I don't know if you want to include online in that or not, because they have so many expansions.
Sure.
But if you want to go the original base game, even that, it still had online and everything. But I have the most fun memories, I think, with San Andreas. It was just a giant map. There were so many different things you could do. You could become really skinny or really heavy, so you could kind of change your look up like that. You could get tattoos. You could change. I think you could change your hairstyle. There was a jetpack in it. That was just fun. You had the emergency missions, like the vigilante missions, the fire truck missions, paramedics, taxi. You could play those for endless hours. You could ride a BMX bike and do some mini games with that. You could play basketball, pool. You could go on dates in the game if you wanted to do something like that. You had gang territories, gang fights, and stuff like that. The voice acting was incredible because they got some pretty big names in there. Have I said enough to why I like it?
It reminds me of, you would probably, I am blanking on the name, so I'm sorry that I am listening, but I'm trying to think of what it's called. Saints Row.
Saints Row.
Saints Row. That you would. Sounds very customizable to the Saints Row. That you could.
Those two, I've played both of them. I haven't played all of the Saints Row games, but I've played both of them. They are similar, but they are very different from each other. Saints Row, and this is weird to say with Grand Theft, with Grand Theft Auto as the comparison, but Saints Row is a little more over the top.
Yeah.
Where Grand Theft Auto, they, in a lot of ways, try to kind of stay rooted in a more real world setting.
Yeah, whereas Saints Row is more silly, cosmetic.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that, and that makes Saints Row a really fun game. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, you can be... I mean, I remember one of the levels, you played as a toilet. You were changed into a toilet with a gun. Just silly things like that kind of keep you on your toes.
Comedy game.
Yeah, and so a lot of people compare those two games, but they are very different. Similar, but different. But yeah, number 7, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for me.
I gotta play it now. I think I have it somewhere. But
it's a fun game.
I think I had
really
it.
Fun game.
Xbox. Anyways, we change it up a little bit. It's more of a simulation game. Euro Truck Simulation.
Ooh, okay.
2.
All right.
Euro Truck Simulator. I feel like it's probably the most relaxing game I've ever played. I feel like also similar to, and I'm going to mention this later today, Flight Simulator, I think just having literally Flight Simulator 1998 was one of the first I would say actually maybe the first computer game I've played.
I think that was one of the very early Flight Simulators. Was that the first one?
It beats me.
We had a few of them.
We had 2000. At least I had 1998. I have 2004 here, and then obviously I'm excited for 2020. And then Euro Truck Simulation came out, and I was like, "There's nothing in comparison to Flight Simulator than Euro Truck Simulation." So,
side note, really quick, I was way off. The first Microsoft Flight Simulator game was Flight Simulator 1.0, and then there were 7 before Flight Simulator 98.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway,
no, I mean, I think just get in depth of simulation. Literally, I know I'm in keyboard and mouse, and eventually maybe if I have enough money to get the steering wheel and pedals. But literally just keyboard and mouse, sometimes you'd be like this, looking in your blind spot. I'm like, damn it, I'm not driving in real life. Come on. So, and I feel like there's a lot of playability in Euro Truck Simulator. Obviously, there's the whole map to explore. I'm only at maybe 40%, not even. And then obviously, even if you complete the map, you could still do all these stuff, try to get cooler trucks, and then drive other places. I don't know. I think eventually it'll get repetitive, but it'd probably be a while before that. So yes. What are we at? 6.
We're at 6.
I'm glad someone's keeping track.
I won't talk. I put numbers next to mine just to make sure that I kept myself on track.
Yeah.
So I won't talk a ton about this one because we kind of already got into it. But Empire Total War. I have not played Rome, but I've heard really good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
But Empire Total War is very similar to
Rome.
To the Civilization games and Rome.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons I put it a little bit higher, even though, like I said, it's not necessarily an order list, but I do like the real-time battles and the massive real-time battles of Empire Total War. So you have that simulation of city building and nation building. I also like that you have the civilizations and the city-states. So if you want a little bit harder of a challenge, you can play... Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's in... I forget what they call them in Empire Total War. Look at me doing research.
Right.
But yeah, to set it apart, I do like the real-time battles and the different formations you can put your units in and positioning and stuff like that, as opposed to just in Civilization, you've got, oh, here's my army that has this much power. Here's their army that has this much power. It's kind of a dice roll about who's going to win, whereas Empire Total War, you have to put a little more thought and strategy into the game. So that's why I put it a little bit higher than Civilization, but both good games. Yeah, when you mentioned Rome, I was like, ooh, we'll talk about this in a little bit. But
right. Well, I think Empire Earth falls a little short because, like I said, Napoleon Total War, like, it adds those features, but now you could also do ship stuff, and you could,
okay, yeah.
So I enjoyed Empire Total Wars. I mean, I literally was, after Rome Total War, I was trying to collect all of them because I was like, this is brilliant.
Really fun games.
They're all great, by the way. Just pick up all of them. Total War stuff, because they're great. No, Rome Total War 2 is an exception. That one could go jump in a lake. Good sir.
Interesting.
It's very janky. I don't know if you played it. I
have not.
Launched the game and never played it since, because literally trying to get like people on the walls and then they don't know what they're doing, and it's really a nightmare. I don't know, maybe they patched it by now, but hopefully, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
what you're saying is pick up one of the other ones.
Pick up the original Total War games. I would say even the Warhammers if you're into that. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not into Warhammer, so I don't know if I'm... Like, if you're a really big nerd that does miniatures, then yes, get that. But then I probably wouldn't know.
Here.
I wouldn't. I obviously am sure after a while to get used to, like, the strengths and weaknesses of each unit. Like, I would, at least like Rome Total War is like, okay, horses. All right, I need pikemen. Obviously.
You already know the rock paper scissors, so to speak, matchup
versus like that game where it's like, I have no idea, I never played Warhammer, so I figure it out eventually, but at least for that you could really see, the history behind, well, these pikemen are obvious against horse because they're long spears that they kill the horse or whatever and kill the person. So anyways, education. Still on the random side, you're going to kind of be blown away with this one. Dark Souls 3. Because, again, another thing, I'm never going to beat it. It's hard as nails.
You will beat it. You are going to beat that game.
I don't know how Stab and Rad do it so easily and just make it look like butter. I mean, obviously it is a very difficult game, but when I watch them, I'm like, good God, like, how do you do this? Like, this is really a nightmare.
I just want to take a moment. Good on you. I know you were apprehensive about playing that game originally in your first, thing. I'm so happy to see that you actually, you enjoy it, because that's one of the things that I've always said about Dark Souls. It's one of the only series, the Soulsborne games, that I can get so infuriatingly mad for losing, 80,000 souls, throw my controller against the wall,
and still play
stand up, go pick it back up, and go right back into the game. Because when you complete something, it's so
satisfying. And
exactly.
I think
and
also,
it's a lot of fun.
It just needs to be on there, just like, you know what, I hate myself today, let's play Dark Souls 3. So that's also why I think I need a game that after I call myself, and then that way, Euro Truck Simulator is also there for a reason. So get really mad.
Purge.
I could go to Euro Truck Simulator and be like, all right, we're good to go.
I like that one. I like that one.
Your turn, sir.
So this one will not be a surprise, and this one is heavily rooted in nostalgia.
Final Fantasy VII.
Mega Man X.
Oh, that's not as exciting either.
But yeah, that one, the last time I played it, which was on a separate 24-hour stream, it took me 3 hours to beat. And I was kind of disappointed in myself, because I remember being able to beat that game in under an hour. Mm-hmm. I'm nowhere near the speed run times of people today and everything.
Get going.
But, I thought about it. But I don't think I could ever get bored of that game. The music in it's fantastic. You can create your own challenges if you want. Like, you have to beat the game only using this weapon, or you have to beat the bosses in this order, or you have to beat the game without getting any heart tanks or E-tanks, or, you can, as with any game, you can create your own challenges, but that is one of the first video gaming memories that I have is Mega Man X. So, for some people that may not be the best in the series. I like a lot of the Mega Man X games, save for the later ones, but, we don't need to talk about those ones.
We don't talk about those ones.
Exactly, they don't exist.
They don't exist.
But, the first one, like I said, the majority of my idea is nostalgia, but I think even in 30 years, if I'm just sitting there and I just don't know what to do, I could throw Mega Man X in, play it, and have a blast. When we're living in our virtual reality, flying cars and teleporters and stuff like that. But yeah, so Mega Man X for my number 5.
Alright.
So, on to you.
Again, we're staying away from actually... Oh, there's one more of simulation stuff, but this is all just like random. After this point, I just kind of threw games in, because that's honestly all I need is those games. But,
fair enough.
Super Hot.
Ooh,
I feel like...
choice.
I know, right? I think...
amend my list?
Right. Because I think Super Hot is, yes, there are ending to Super... There's levels to Super Hot. And now they have another... Well, again, we're Super Hot DLC. But now they have another one. But just the original game, Super Hot, I feel like after you complete the levels, you're like, I keep going back to that game too. It's just because it's just so... I think it's just so different in terms
Absolutely.
of, like, obviously, time moves when you do it, and then, like, the slow motion Matrix, like, you don't see, like...
Oh, cool.
It's great, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm out of ammo. Pool table, or pool ball, and just throw that, like, it's...
Take 6 bottles and throw them at enemies.
And then it's just...
That's a good answer.
I know, right? After I just said all of these are just thrown in there, but I did thought about it. I was like, Super Hot has to be in here, because
such a good freaking game.
And then also they have like Katana mode. They also have like the original, like, I assume like the beta mode, where it's just like you don't have any guns or anything, and you just have fists or whatever, and you can't. I forgot what it was, but at least they had challenges. They have like a speed run. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, but or kill as many enemies as you can, and it just like never ends. And it's like, I think that's why. Super Hot.
Nice.
Your turn.
Super hot.
Super
okay, so 4, 3, 2, and 1 are super hot. So podcast over.
Right.
No,
super hot.
That's a really good answer.
I know.
This next one, I didn't think the other ones were going to shock you. But this one I think will kind of, take
I'm
you
more
out of
shocked
your
with
comfort
MLB.
zone.
I'm still shocked on that one.
See, I didn't think they were going to shock you, but this one I think will shock you.
All right.
It is Final Fantasy VII.
Wow. Never thought I'd see the day.
Oh, the build-up.
Wow.
But no. It's the first RPG I ever played. It's the first RPG that I ever beat. There are other ones that have better features. I know a lot of people really like Final Fantasy IX, which I enjoy that one as well. I really like Final Fantasy XII, and that one probably has more content. But that game is so much fun. And I guess I should clarify. I'm talking about the original Final Fantasy VII, not Final Fantasy VII Remake, which that one is fun as well. But yes, I'm talking about the original isometric, sort of kind of overhead-ish top-down view Final Fantasy VII. Sort of like I was talking about the 24-hour with Final Fantasy IV. This one, you have the ability to change up your party members. There are certain places where you're forced to use certain ones, but you can play that game for the most part with whoever you want in your party. So you can build them up in levels, or you can put the specific magic and abilities on them. I love the materia system in that game. For anybody who hasn't played it, materia is the kind of the magic and why are you pointing to yourself?
I don't know.
7, right?
Yeah, obviously.
But there's some really cool things you can do, and I know we both said not trying to really promote necessarily other people without them knowing, but 4-8 Productions on YouTube, he has a video that it has thousands, and I think it's over quite a few million views, but just different combinations of materia that you can use that sort of almost break the game. But I want to look up that really fast. Combos. Yeah, he has his video. It has over 1 million views, and it's from 6 years ago.
Wow.
But you can do different crazy things with that and have a lot of fun. You have challenging bosses that are optional if you want to go the route of that. There's a lot of items to find. There are fun little weapons that you can find for your characters. Like, normally it's a broom or a staff or gloves or something like that, but they have one that's a broom or an umbrella. I think there's an umbrella, but they just have some little fun things like that, a spiked bat. So there's other challenges you can do in that, and again, you can make a challenge to yourself where you can go, okay, I'm going to beat the game, with no spells or something like that, and it just, I love it. And like I said, that's heavily based in nostalgia, just like Mega Man X, but I can't change who I am.
Yeah.
When it comes to gaming, and I enjoy it, and I could sit back down and play that one through and through time and time again. But yeah, there's my number 4. Surprisingly not at number 7.
Right.
But I guess technically it's the 7th one that I mentioned.
Right.
So
it works out either way.
Numbers still work.
Tabs. Total Accurate Battle Simulation.
Nice.
Because, again, I feel like there's so much fun and silliness in that game, and so yes, it's broken. I mean, somewhat broken. I feel like they improved it a little bit, but
it's almost intentionally broken.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean.
Like
it's a little
I love the derpiness of the people. It's just so brilliant and well done. And obviously, last time I played it on stream, a man more recommended you should do a tournament, and I was like, that's an amazing idea. Yes, I will.
That's a good idea.
And we did it real quick, and it turned out the Da Vinci is the winner. But you could do all sorts of silly mock-ups. I was thinking to do just my own tournament of pirates versus ninjas, or something similar,
the classic
like that.
Debate,
or similar, in terms of you could do all sorts of tournaments on kind of like Smash Brothers, I guess, where tabs is, and they keep obviously improving it. Another indie game they just update it, and yes, it's still a little broken, but it's getting there.
Solid choice. I like it. That's a good one.
All right, let's hear number 3.
Starting to round out the list here. We're getting in the home stretch.
I know.
Mass Effect 2.
Oh.
I've now played the full Mass Effect, I guess, trilogy. I haven't beaten Andromeda, but Mass Effect 2. I enjoyed 3 quite a bit. I know a lot of people were disappointed by the story and the culmination of everything, but I won't get into that. But yeah, Mass Effect 2. I liked the gameplay. Again, along the same lines where you can make whatever party you want. You can have different people. You can customize your own character.
Never played it.
Sorry,
that's why I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, I should know this game, but I don't.
But that's another one of those. That's an RPG where, and some people will argue because of the ending of 3, but where your choices matter. I've always had PlayStation, so I didn't play the first Mass Effect game until long after I'd already played 2. But when I loaded up 2 in my PS2 or PS3, I think it was PS3. When I loaded it up into my PS3, I got to go through a little story mode where I picked choices that I would have made in Mass Effect 1 because it affected my Mass Effect 2 game. And I thought that was such a cool thing.
That's brilliant.
Like I said, I like Final Fantasy VII. It's a great game.
Think?
But there's there's not much that you can... No, you're good. There's not much you can do in that game to change the story or alter how the things that are set in stone are going to go. Whereas Mass Effect, you can become a total jerk, or you can become a really nice guy, or you can kind of play somewhere in that middle area, with the way you answer things or the way you approach different situations. And that's such a really neat concept to me because, like I said, it helps you feel like you're actually in the world of this traveling band of space pirates. I know they're not space pirates, but who doesn't want to be a space pirate? Plus,
you're selling me on this game, man.
Plus, I think the Normandy in that game is one of the top 5 coolest spaceships that I have seen in just video game and like movie and sci-fi, that kind of genre. But yeah, Mass Effect 2, fun game. If you like kind of action RPGs, I recommend checking it out. Really fun game.
Do I need to play the other Mass Effects?
If you want the story, yes.
Okay.
If you don't really care about the story, if you don't really care about the story, you can jump into any one of them. But if you want that kind of overarching story path, then yeah, you would have to play them. But they're fun games to play on their own, for sure. Like I said, you just won't get as much of that content if you don't.
I might have to pick that up.
3 to you.
I think you sold me.
It's a good one. I'd like to watch you play that one.
Is it on Steam?
I believe so. While you're going into your next one, I will double check.
All right. City Skylines.
Dang it!
I know.
Shit. I knew there was a game I forgot. I'm so mad at myself. Good one.
I know.
So number 3.5 is City Skylines.
Believe it. Again, I just threw these in, but these are actually somewhat thought of, I guess, apparently.
Dang it. I'm mad at myself.
It's okay. City Skylines is one of the best. It is the best, I think. Oh, I don't know. One of the best till SimCity 3000 or SimCity 2000. One of the best city building games that I've played. It's just so well detailed, so well stuff you could do. Very interactive. Of literally your traffic sucks, you need to fix it, or obviously you put a the dump, and it affects this area of like so much crap and pollution. It's affecting this area now. Like it's ridiculous. Obviously you could play it for hours and rechange, buy more land. But yeah, haven't enjoyed a city building game since SimCity 3000, and that was 1990. It is again one of the top games, one of the earliest games I remember playing, SimCity 3000, and I know, right? So
that's such a good one.
I know, but oddly enough, I don't play City Skylines as much as I should.
Same here.
That's feel like
the reason it didn't even crop into my list.
That's probably why. Like it was definitely one of the closest ones. I was like, maybe, but I was like, yeah. But I just at this point I just like stopped, and I need to dive back into it again somehow. I don't know. I think maybe it'll help to just start all over, just like I do in Planet Coaster. Just like scrap this. Just like not that I definitely will go back to finish it, but like I feel like now I want to just dive deeper into it and know how to play now. Just like my first Planet Coaster map, it's not as good as my new Planet Coaster map, because now I know what I'm looking for or what have you. So,
yep, that's a good one.
I know. It's your turn, sir. Number
so quick side note: the entire Mass Effect franchise is on Steam.
Oh,
and I know you'll love this. There is a demo of Mass Effect 2.
All right, I'll do that.
So I recommend.
Remember demos? God,
I do remember demos.
We need games. Game developers, get on it. We need more demos again.
Going along those lines, the demo for Mass Effect 2 released on June 21st, 2010.
Oh, 10 years
the
old.
The age of demos. But yeah, wow. They're still more expensive than I thought they would be.
Oh.
But they're 1 and 2 are, well, you can look at them. But yeah, check out the demo. If you enjoy the demo, right, you'll probably like the rest of the game.
I'll do it.
So yeah, back to the list. So number 2, if it's not obvious, I do really enjoy RPGs.
Really?
I know, right? Shocker.
Never thought of that. Again, still wondering why, MLB's on there. But okay, go on.
Hey, all that is I'm role-playing a
baseball player,
professional athlete.
Right.
See?
You'll never get it. Something
I didn't even mention in my discussion of that is you do have Road to the Show mode, which you actually are role-playing as a baseball player, and you get drafted and you move up the ranks. So it does have those RPG elements to it.
Right. Got 'em.
But number 2, Persona 5. Persona 5 Royale would probably be on the list, but I have not played Persona 5 Royale. Persona 4 was one of the best RPGs I've ever played in my life, and I had never played a Persona game until Persona 4 on the PlayStation Vita. But Persona 5 blew that one out of the water. I talked about it on stream, I think it was 2 months ago, maybe 3, but I finally beat it for the first time just a few months ago. But I had over 100 hours in that first playthrough.
And you never streamed it.
I never streamed. That was one of those games that I wanted to experience myself.
Yeah.
If I go back through it, I might stream it, but it's one of those ones I wanted to have that experience just kind of by myself.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just a few quick notes on it. There's 21 confidant arcs in that game, so there's 21 people that you can go and you've got to hang out with and you've got to talk to and do different things. So there's a lot of possibility there. I'm amazed that I couldn't easily find a specific number, but I believe in Persona 5 there are 187 personas, which, to make a comparison, personas in that game are basically like Pokemon or Digimon or something where it's kind of the catch-em-all sort of idea, and they determine your abilities and stuff like that. But yeah, you can easily put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into that game and still not touch everything unless you specifically do it. So yeah, that's why that's my number 2, because I don't think I could ever 100% that game without only having 10 games that I can play, and that's one of them. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. The characters are great. But yeah, number 2 on my list, Persona 5.
Nice. I haven't played that one either.
That one's not for everyone, definitely. But if you like RPGs and you like turn-based, definitely check it out. It is one of the best, if not the best, RPGs out there.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Solid.
Another
choice.
one.
Yet again. And you just threw these on there?
I did, yeah. Well, especially the last one. I definitely threw that on there. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. It's such a good game. It's so good. Mm-hmm. I want to hog-tie this random dude and throw him on a train track. Name another game that you can...
Whiplash over here.
Name and while you're doing it, drag him through the land until you get to the railroad. It's just you could literally kick a dog. You could kick a dog. Well, you don't want to do that. You could kick. You're like, no. You could
disappointed.
Kick a door down, kill some random grandma on a. Just so well done.
Stream over and
yeah.
We need a big red button that we can just hit.
Stop, John. Just stop. Before you've gone too far. No, it's so good. It's so good. That's all.
To answer your question, what other game can you do that in? Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotcha.
Got him.
No, that's a good one. That's another one that I'm ashamed to say I have not beaten it because it's so imposing.
Yeah.
It's a big game.
It's a big game,
but it's fun. I love it. I do need to get back into that one and play it. That's a great game.
Yeah, I'm still
solid
playing it.
Choice.
Just every once in a while.
Really solid choice.
I know. Okay, last one, sir.
Alrighty. This is one that I definitely just threw on.
Yeah.
Threw on my list to round it out.
It's hard.
And, it had nothing. Nobody could see it coming.
Wow.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid. Wow. Yeah.
That game, in my opinion, and this I did save this one for last. The other ones aren't necessarily in numerical order. That is probably my favorite game of all time. I love the story of it. It wraps up the Metal Gear Solid saga so well. There's an hour and 27-minute, 43-second cutscene at the end, I think, if I remember that correctly. But of just wrapping up the story of that game, there is so much nostalgia in that game that it almost at times feels like playing the other Metal Gear Solid games again, because you get to relive some of those experiences, and it's so much. It's great. It's just 1 hour, 21 minute, and 35-second cutscene at the end of that game to wrap the story up. Like I said, flashbacks. You get to relive the other games. It feels like you're in a living, breathing world. In the very beginning of the game, you're kind of thrust into this battlefield where two opposing forces are going, and you can choose to help one of them, or you can choose to just sneak through and not even fight at all. You can fight the PMC, you can fight the militia, or you can just let them duke it out, and this world is moving around you. There's, I believe, if I got the count right, 70 weapons in that game. You can do non-lethal and lethal playthroughs of the game, and there's multiple weapons to do that. You can even fight the bosses non-lethally. When you get done with the game, you get a rank, and there's 40 ranks that you could get. 40 different, they call them code names, but you can get 40 different. So there's different challenges right there. Like, you have to beat the game on, I think it's Big Boss Extreme, in under 5 hours with no kills, and you get the Big Boss title. Or if you take a really long time, I think you get the, I had it up here, but you get the, the giant panda, nickname, but there's other ones, chicken, scarab, gecko, little gray, hawk, eagle, just all these different things that you can try to work towards and beat the game in these different ways and get a different end code name. Like I said, it's probably my favorite game of all time, and I will play through that game 1,000 times over and probably never get upset by it. So yeah, there's my list.
Yeah. Alright. GTA 5.
Good choice. I am not upset with that choice at all.
It is very again, I threw that one because it's just, I don't think I dove into a GTA game ever in my life. Instead of GTA 1, I'll take that. Top-down view, PlayStation 1, great. I played that. It's great. It's really chunky. It's great. It's really terrible. It's so terrible. But no, GTA 5, I got it for free with the free weekend, when it was free. A lot of free words. And I just couldn't stop playing it. It's really well done. And obviously, after you do, I haven't completed the story. I'm sure, obviously, after, like, when I was playing last time, I was like, it would be a good idea to just do a tour bus of randomly drive, because, like, that kind of was a joke last time, and I was like, let's do that. But obviously, me playing it, I don't know where the, like, site marks are or anything. I was just like, I'm just gonna rant down, like, just randomly talk about stuff. And I'll really immerse yourself into that game. So you notice really. I feel like I picked the games because playability and obviously how long I could play it or difficulty that, So you notice that none of my like top 5 games are on there. Like
They are.
they're not. I was BioShock Infinite, Resident Evil 4, Stanley Parable. They weren't on the list. I mean, because I feel like BioShock Infinite for sure. I think we mentioned this before. You play it once, and that's it. The story is so well done. And then Stanley Parable, I've played a majority of the ending besides one. So I feel like, what else is there to play? Resident Evil 4, yes, I come back to it once in a while in a blue moon, but it's like I already beaten it. What else is there to do? Roller Coaster Tycoon, again, down the line, I mean, eventually, yes, there's a lot of, technically about the expansion, like, all of it. But eventually I'll be done with all the scenarios, then what is there to do?
Yeah.
That's why I picked Planet Coaster, because I could do the scenarios and get back into that game of, you know what, I'm just going to build. So I think that's why they didn't make the list. It's just more playability, and it's very tough to not make those games on the list. But most of yours is one of your top favorite games too. So you got some of those,
and it's because I have played those games a few times and stuff like that. I feel like I know I can get back. Like Civ 6, kind of along those lines, where you can play that one in multiple different scenarios. You can try to beat that game without, building more than one city, or, things like that. Empire, Total War. You can try a smaller civilization and try to build up from there and become a massive empire. But yeah, I know I put some of my favorite games on the list, but like you said, Stanley Parable. I played that game literally because of you.
You're welcome.
Because you were so generous, and I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
I even told Mage Minica
really
to
fun.
I was like, if you don't get it, I'm gonna get it for you. It's just gonna happen. Anyway, sorry.
The man does not lie. That is for sure. But yeah, it was a really fun game, and I'll probably play it again at some point. Check it out again. But like you said, I saw some of the jokes, and they were really funny, and they're really well done.
Right.
But how many times can you see those jokes?
Right.
You're going to know what happens, or you're going to know what's there. Metal Gear Solid 4, I know that story. I would say like the back of my hand, but I don't, because the story is so crazy. There was actually, when the fourth one released, they made a Metal Gear Solid 4 Metal Gear Solid database that you could download for free, because Hideo Kojima makes such interlocking stories that you had to have what basically amounted to a Wikipedia program to understand some things. But I could play that game a million times over and try different things, or try, certain runs like no alert, or get all the alerts, or not all the alerts, but, get a bunch of alerts, or play it on the hardest difficulty, play it on the easiest difficulty, play it, try to beat the game only with a shotgun, or only with a pistol, or only with a sniper rifle. So yeah, it is a story-driven game, but yeah, I stand by my list, even though you had some killer.
Yeah, no, I killed your list.
Games on your list. I'm glad that I can shock you with some of my games.
No, just more again. Still MLB again, because never thought I'd see the day. No, it's again that I think I mentioned this too. Like literally, I read that article of like games you will never play again, and BioShock Infinite was one of them. I was like, you're right, because I will never. Like, yeah, I played it a couple times, but I never beat it again. Like,
yeah,
maybe once again, but I would say never beat it again, because it's just. I don't want to. It's so well done. Like I really like the story, and I just want to keep it that way. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to like repeat it, but like, all right, the story's not as good now. Like, so yeah, it was very difficult to not put those games that I listed on this list. Even Roller Coaster Tycoon but again, eventually you'll just be done.
Yep. I almost threw Roller Coaster Tycoon on there. I fought with, Age of Empires. I even fought with Company of Heroes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've played Company of Heroes. It's another real-time strategy game. But that one, it also does have, less content. Civilization has 31 different
fun.
civilizations you can play as.
Why haven't I
Empire
played
has
this?
19.
This looks really fun.
I think you would, if you like World War II, you should definitely play Company of Heroes and Company of Heroes 2. It is such a fun game. I've actually wanted to stream it a few times. I just haven't gotten around to it.
You should stream it again soon. I just want to...
I think we broke Scouter. Success.
Actually,
I broke him
maybe.
with baseball, and I
This
broke him
seems
with...
very familiar for some reason, though, too.
I mean, you may have played it or played something like it at some point.
Alright, sorry, now that's two games that you recommended that's on my list now. For once, you convinced me on on games. I think this is the first time in podcast history.
Success! But yeah, I almost put that on there, but you can only play as a few different nations. So it like you kind of said, even though, yes, you can play against multiple different computers or play against another human opponent, you can only play in so many different ways.
Right.
And then it does have a story to it, so you can play that story. And what's really cool about Company of Heroes is you can play historic battles and learn more about World War II if you're interested in that history. So it's kind of a double-edged sword of fun and, dare I say, learning. Because there might be things that you've seen in a movie that you've heard of, or you've seen that battle play out in a movie or a History Channel special or something, but now you can kind of live it and play along with it and stuff. So, yeah. And that one almost made the list, but not quite. So I feel like both of us kind of had a decent list of honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I almost put Tetris Attack on here. It's a really fun game. Love it. Even the original Tetris.
Yeah.
But yeah. Should we do just a quick rundown really fast and just read through our games again? Or
I already deleted them.
with. Oh, fair enough.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
But no, I mean, I would say just generally, like we said, those games, or you guys could just go back and 2 times it.
That is a good call. You're not wrong.
No, that's fine. No, I'd say again, just I feel like my opinion was like, you gotta pick. I feel like okay, the world's ending. Like one of the earliest questions I asked you, like the world's ending. What do you grab? But you're grabbing 10 games. It's like these 10 games I could play until the end of time. I don't know what that is. It reflects.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh, okay.
I told you I've been playing them to get back through them again.
But yeah, I feel like Smokinace, same thing, is like you play those games that you playability and challenging stuff that you could do in them. That's something that you haven't done. Yeah, I could do that with BioShock Infinite, but I don't know. It wouldn't be the same, I feel like.
Yeah, no. And like we said in the beginning, this isn't my top 10 favorite games.
Oh, no, God, no. These aren't... I barely even know my own top 10 favorite games. I barely even know my top 5, so...
That's such a hard... It's such a hard thing. There's so many games out there. That's kind of why I liked Beat 'em Up's idea of this, where it's... Because it's so hard to pinpoint your favorite games of all time. Because you've got to factor in so many things. But these 10 games, I know that I could sit down and play, and I'm going to have a good time.
Right. And play until you're dead in the ground. And still not finish, or still enjoy them.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these games are really good, quarantine games.
Right.
So...
Basically.
But anywho, that's besides the point.
Yeah. See, I wasn't joking. Almost 1 hour and 40 minutes. So nice. Probably apologies. I knew this one would be a little bit longer, but thanks for sticking by. I hope you guys enjoy this. We have a lot of topics that I've had a list of, and probably next month talk about Fall Guys. I know that's
absolutely
been released. We'll probably talk about obviously games we played this month, and hopefully
which will probably be Fall Guys.
I'll remember which ones I played. No, just mostly 24 hours of playing 5 games. That's all I need to remember. But yeah, so a lot of stuff to talk about. Again, if you guys are interested, please comment on maybe what your top 10s games would be. If you agree with either of us, probably not Smokinace because his games are garbage. No, I'm joking. Blasphemy. Those are fighting words.
Let's go. Let's go.
These are fighting words.
The 50s style.
But
you monster.
Any other topics? Unless I already have them on a future podcast, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, as you can tell, we love talking about games, and we don't always have the same opinions. So, if you submit a question, there's a good chance you're going to get two similar answers.
Usually,
but you're going to get probably 2 very different answers. I mean, look at our lists. We had some similarities, for sure.
That's when you said GTA. I was like, uh-oh.
It was almost 5. But yeah. So that's
And now you got 2 games on my list that I never thought I'd see the day. Smokinace recommends a game to me. But here we are.
All right, challenge accepted. Every podcast to get 1 more game for you to play.
Now I need to convince. Well, I convinced you to a couple games, but
yeah, for sure.
Anyways, check out Smokinace. He streams as well. Smokinace007. He's awesome. Check him out because he's he puts up with me for an hour every month, and so appreciate again your time. Again, as you can tell, I appreciate these because it's something we could talk about every month, and some cool stuff. And I'm excited for next month as well.
I always have a blast. Definitely.
Yeah,
I always like talking about my correct opinions.
Yeah, your right answers apparently, and my crappy ones. But yes, make sure to comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and see you guys. Hope your dog is better.
He seems to be very content. So.
All right, see you guys later. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.